Hello, and welcome to today's review of the Transformers Kingdom Deluxe class Huffer. Now, if you hadn't noticed, there has been a theme for the last 3 videos. I am currently just reviewing mini-bots. These are updated renditions of the G1 mini-bots, but mini-bots nonetheless, and I've gotta say, so far they've been really good. Cut into the vehicle mode quick. Now, I do want to point this out while I remember. Now, you want to take this section, you want to plug it into the 3 ports on the back, like so, nice and frozen. And then, right, here we take these. This gun splits in half. Bloody brilliant stuff. This is absolutely top tier engineering, by the way. It's got to be some of my favourite weapon integration of all time. Now, you want to plug these bits, tabs, slots, right into there, and you get a bed for the back of the truck. Absolutely brilliant. And back to where we were. I don't have every single updated Deluxe that's come out. I'm missing Beachcomber, and I do not have the new, what do you call him, Sea Spray. Yeah, I'm missing him too, but I do have a bunch of the other dudes that have been made so far. And yeah, generally really cool stuff. I'm loving the transparent blue on the windscreen. You know, it's just a whole insert section, which is really welcome here. I think more figures need it. You got the truck bed, you got wheels that are just clip-ons, but painted rims, loads of silver all over this guy. Even the arms are painted, which is a thing, you know, something to point out. But yeah, generally really cool stuff. It's absolutely tiny though. And this trailer port, I will bring this up, he can tow the Earthrise Optimus Prime trailer. Earthrise Prime isn't a figure I own anymore. I sold him, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now. I just don't like Earthrise Optimus Prime. Yeah, there you go. So instead, to test that, we will get the 86 Optimus trailer and see if that works. So for the 86 Optimus Prime trailer, does it latch? Yes, it does. And Huffer can turn, as he should, which is perfectly cool. For full length, there you go, beautiful stuff. So yeah, anyway, onto the size comparison. Here we have Alternator Swindle, Lego Car, 86 Brawn, Ralph, Steve. Now this is perfectly okay as well, you know, like they are mini bots, right? So having them be smaller than everything else, I'm quite okay with it. One thing I really want to talk about with scale is I'm not awfully bothered about most things scaling, you know. There's like this scale in my head that I have where I know some well, for me, some characters need to be bigger than others and whatnot, and then some characters need to be like in a subset that's smaller than everything else. Huffer is one of those figures where he just needs to be smaller than the average bot, and he is, so it's perfectly fine. So, for the transformation on this guy, all we're going to do, this is incredibly straightforward. We're going to take these legs, right, we go fold them out here, we have half a robot. We're going to fold these sections down. These are going to help support the robot mode and provide heals. We're going to take the arms, fold them outwards. Take this whole frontal assembly with the kind of a front of the vehicle. Pull it up like so, it's kind of on this double hinge. Fold the wheels inwards into the chest. Like so. Take the arms, fold them into place, they will click. Take the arms and rotate them around so the elbows are facing forward, like so. Take his head, fold the chest back in, collapse the vehicle, the hood down, and brilliant stuff. He is beautiful. Now let me just grab his accessories. So for the accessories, here we have his rifle, kind of just plugs in 5mm port, right? Beautiful stuff. Really nicely sculpted in my opinion. Now it is almost all paint instead of just being cast in orange. I personally think they should have just cast it in grey and put the paint elsewhere, like on the legs, they're a bit bland. But whatever, you know, Hasbro's whole thing now is kind of show accuracy. They're getting awfully boring, but hey. And he's got a shield, which is cool. Definitely a really cool weapon set. Now, the compatibility with these in the vehicle mode is also really brilliant, and this is blast effect compatible by the looks of it, which is really cool. So, generally, the kind of robot mode on this is brilliant. We talked about a lot of the paint that's on this because you can see it from the underside of the vehicle, and there's nothing that really crops up in robot mode that you can't see in vehicle mode. So, for the articulation on this guy, it's something interesting, I guess. The shoulders go all the way around. They pull just below a 90, it's ever so slightly below due to how the joint is situated. We have a bicep swivel, which is fairly well hidden. However, the part that the bicep swivel is on is cast in grey instead of being the molded or painted, however they've done it, silver, which whatever. I'm not too fussed. The elbows on this are very average, or just below average really. They're getting just shy of an 90. He has no wrists, just these really stiff joints for the transformation. Then for the head movement, the head will spin around a little bit. Go all the way around, right? So a little bit of wiggle room on each of the directions, but it's also so little that it doesn't really matter. He has a waist. He has the beautiful spread. That's expected with every figure nowadays. He has a thigh swivel that cannot go all the way around due to molding. He has super knees, absolutely brilliant. He has really nice ankles that don't look like crap. And that's really it. He he kicks forward at a 90 and he will kick backwards just above a 90. So yeah, fairly standard stuff across the board. The lack of wrists is a common thing, you know, it's modern Transformers. The missing, like double jointed elbows and stuff, you know, it sucks, but whatever. I don't see many Transformers with it. The head movement is abysmal, but hey, you know, it's a thing that exists. So, for the robot mode size comparison, here we have Age of Extinction Evasion Optimus Prime, Legacy United Gears, Studio Series Lockdown, Ralph, Steve. Now, generally, this is, you know, Lockdown is the kind of general deluxe scale. Minibots being smaller, that's cool. Optimus being a good amount taller, that's cool. Bearing in mind, this is typically not the Optimus you would see with G1 figures, but he is the one we're using for comparison as he was a recent review, and the theming here is that everything that's showing up in these size comparisons will eventually get some love in a review. So, spoilers. Now, just overall, the kind of scaling on this is pretty good. You know, I'm not against it. Everything about this is pretty okay. Just, you know, the articulation just sucks a little bit, and the price point for this guy, I definitely paid retail for him, sadly. I picked him up, like, year of release, like, almost immediately. I found him in a store that I went to, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll grab him. And do I regret it? No. But at the time, that store was charging like £17 for deluxes, which was really good. I mean, comparative to what they are now, right? And I mean, even at the time, I think deluxes were meant to be like 21 maybe. So this store was doing a bit of a discount anyway. I'm really conflicted as to whether he was worth that, because he is solid, but he's just nothing special. You know, at least orange and blue is a really pretty colour scheme in my opinion. So for the rankings on this guy, I'm just going to cut to it, you know. The articulation on this guy, that's my first point of contention. The articulation is probably just a 5. He's very average, you know. He does what a lot of modern Transformers does. The only thing he has going for him is those knees. Beyond that, the shoulders are a bit less than usual. The elbows are less than usual. He doesn't have wrists. The head movement is bad. he's very average. That's really it. Aesthetic on this guy though, absolutely beautiful in both modes, in my opinion. He's not like my ideal Transformer, but he's definitely a 9. Like, it's very good stuff. I don't care about animation accuracy or whatever. I just want a figure that looks nice, you know, and this guy is. The transformation on this guy is a very straightforward ordeal, going from bot to vehicle or vehicle to bot, as we did in this video. And yeah, it's cool stuff, you know. I'd definitely go give it an 8, you know. It's good. And then finally, value for money on this guy. He is solid, you know, besides the articulation. Everything else about him is really nice, and I definitely do think things like the kind of weapon integration into the vehicle mode is brilliant. So I'm just going to put him at a 7. He's good, you know, that's it really. I would have preferred that they had like another size class for things like this that aren't really deluxe, but they're charging deluxe for it, when you could get figures like Siege Spinner stuff for basically the same price upon release and whatever, and they're only like a year or so apart. I just think it's silly, you know. There's no comparison between this and things like that. Whereas Gears and Brawn, those are two completely different beasts. However, those figures came out later and were more expensive, at retail at least. So yeah, it's just a 7 on that. This has been AnimatedCHUG. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.